We are back now with our Consumer Confidential and a closer look at who is tracking us, whether it's the apps we use or those smart devices in our homes. There are steps we can take to protect our privacy and information. Vicky is now putting her Chief Consumer Investigative Correspondent hat on to help us out.
Got it.
All right. So hello again.
Hello again.
All right. At this point, we know we can't put the genie back in the bottle, right? People are tracking us. But, what information are we putting out there that could even get us into trouble?
Yeah, that's such a good point, Dylan. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. So what I want people to think about is there's Dylan Dreyer moving about in the world, Craig Melvin moving about in the world, but online there's a digital Dylan and a digital Craig. And that is made up of a ton of different data points that these companies are really trying to connect the dots on, from the type of device you use to your IP address when you're logging onto the internet to where you spend your time during which hours. All of this to predict what you're going to do and how you're going to spend your money, because data about you is so valuable. They want to be able to serve up ads, track what you're doing online, ultimately so that they can make money. So when we are shopping out there, when we are surfing the web, I just want people to be really conscious of what they're posting, especially when it comes to social media. Does everybody's birthday need to be out there? Does your child's school need to be out there? Do you need to take a photo in front of your home? These are all data points that can be triangulated to locate where you are, and that can be a real security risk, right? Then when it comes to what you are, the sites that you're going to, if you're shopping an unfamiliar site, you might want to think twice. That deal that looks so good to be true, not only could it be a scam site, but now you're putting personal payment information out there. Now, there are some things we can't avoid, like a lot of stuff we're doing online, banking now, or our medical information to access our doctor's records. So be very careful. Our taxes. You have to put your social security number online in some cases. So I would recommend monitoring your credit, putting a freeze on your credit where you can, so you can take some of those preventative measures. And then finally, very basically, using browsers that block trackers, that block those cookies things from following you. Absolutely. DuckDuckGo, Firefox, and Safari, the folks at the Consumer Federation of America recommend those sites. Try them out, because, what it might be for you is you're not going to get the convenience of having your logins all saved, but that's less information about you that's being out there.
Let's go back to something you just mentioned about shopping online. Most folks these days, especially shopping online or physically going into a retail store. What can we do to stop the trackers?
Yeah, this is super interesting. You don't think about when you're going into a store that you could be physically tracked, but there's a lot of technology out there, and it's designed ultimately to not only make money for the retailers, but also to make your consumer experience a little bit better. But there's not much you can do about surveillance cameras that see you when you walk into a store. What they're doing not only is looking for shoplifters, they're actually trying to see, where do you go first? Where can we put things that make sense, high dollar items that you might look at before you go back to the sales section? So this is strategic for the stores, but you could turn off your Bluetooth when you are shopping in person, because sometimes that extra geolocation and the pinging of the towers, you might not need to give up that information to a retailer. It's a big deal when you're shopping online, and I always say uninstall any apps that you don't use frequently, because when you install a retailer's app, it gives them access to so much information about your phone, your location, and that's a digital dossier that you don't need to make super complete for them.
A digital dossier.
But listen, if you're going to a grocery store and you're like, I always get great coupons from here, just understand you're trading your data for the convenience and the savings. But, limiting loyalty programs would be another one. You're not signing up for everything under the sun. Sign up for something to get the discount that day, then delete that account, delete that app. Also, browsing in incognito mode. If you're not going to use those browsers I was talking about earlier, the Firefox, DuckDuckGo, Safari, consider turning on incognito mode. Then everything in your search history is wiped clean. And then finally, making sure that whenever you can, if it says, do you want us to collect data? You say, no, thank you.
I know you have so much more information to give us, but I want to talk about the two big scams that are going around. The toll scam.
Happened to me. I got a text message.
I got one yesterday.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What did it say?
It said that I owed money for a toll. And I'm like, I don't even drive through tolls.
This is huge. It's happening to a lot of
Someone
folks.
does it for you.
So there are toll systems in 18 different states, millions of potential targets who are getting, texts that look just like this. They look so official. You've got excessive late fees. You've got to pay it by this certain day. I mean, look at that. There are no typos, no problems. There's a real link. Never click on a link that is sent to you. If you are concerned, maybe you have been behind on your tolls, go directly to your state's agency, log in and see if it's actually true. The other one, to make sure, tax season, as you mentioned, Dylan, people are getting texts from the IRS saying you owe, or hey, here's a refund coming your way, a very specific amount of money. That is not true. The government is not going to text, email, or even call you for this kind of information. So just remember,
just don't trust text.
Never ever text, or never ever click on anything that's sent to you.
Scammers
Vicky, thank you.
They're the worst.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.